Welcome back, everyone, to the Rooted Lifestyle Podcast. We are your hosts, Camryn and Justus Woods.
Hey, guys. Thanks again for tuning in to another one of our mini episodes. I hope you guys are all doing great. I know we've been doing awesome, traveling a lot this summer. Crazy that summer's almost over.
Yeah, and then soon it'll be fall, so football season, Halloween, Thanksgiving. I really love fall, so I'm excited.
I was about to say, it's low-key my favorite time of the year, I think. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the sun. I love tanning. I love the beach, the lake. But low-key, living in Dallas, you have the summer sun until like the beginning of October, I would say.
It's literally so hot here and it's so hard to enjoy like the outside in the summertime because even when we're like sitting out by the pool, it's just the 110 degree weather beating down on you and everything. So I feel like honestly most of the time we've spent when we're not traveling is inside watching reality TV.
Okay.
If those of you have seen Love Island,
true,
USA.
But not, I was about to say, not UK.
Not UK. UK was good at first, but USA is just so much better.
Ronnie boy. I still love UK.
UK was,
but we're very behind.
We're very behind. We're not going to catch up. But USA, we're very much caught up and very much invested.
Honestly, if you haven't heard of it or watched it, what are you doing?
You should give it a try. I think a lot of people give it a bad rep at first, and I mean, obviously, like know, the concept of the show is kind of eh. But
yeah, I don't really think it's
good.
Like a really good show.
I mean, it's not a good show, but it's like is it entertaining? Yes, it's entertaining.
100%.
We've been watching that, and then also The Bachelorette
because
one of our really, really close friends, Spencer Conley, is a contestant or a person on there looking to try to find love. So if you do watch The Bachelorette, root for Spencer. Go Spencer. Maybe we should just have our TV show, our podcast should be reality TV instead of like health,
we should get Spencer on the podcast.
Yeah.
So he can give us all the tea.
We'll get the first inside scoop.
Anyone else?
We'll get the tea from Spencer before he goes on all these other Bachelor podcasts. But
that's true.
Fortunately, unfortunately, this is not that's not our conversation for today. Is The Bachelorette?
Yeah. So a little bit of both.
It's a little. We're talking about the.
No, a little bit of unfortunate and fortunate.
Yeah, it's a little bit of unfortunate. I was like, we're talking about The Bachelorette today?
No, we're not. We're not.
But even today,
I would love to. Maybe we should. Who's everyone's favorite?
Yeah, who's everyone like so far?
Comment below.
Spencer, obviously.
So
today,
I'm so ADHD. It's insane.
It's okay.
Today
we'll be talking about the animal-based diet and the effects that we have seen from it. For those of you who don't know, Camryn and I have been doing the animal-based diet, and so have some of our friends for the last month to a degree. I feel like I've like really, really, really tried to be, I was for a month, like
I was about to say, before the beach in July.
Yeah, before the beach in July, I was fully animal-based, like to the point where I had a trip in Austin with some of my friends. I brought my own food. I cooked my own food. Like,
y'all, stuck to it.
I was like,
you didn't drink.
Yeah, I didn't drink.
Not
do
that
anything.
You like drinking that much, anyways. But that's still hard when all your friends are doing it. Like you're out and about. It's fun.
Yeah,
and like you stuck to it. That was crazy. I was home. Back in Charlotte,
enjoying your espresso martinis.
I was drinking my espresso martinis, eating my cookies, doing my thing. Yeah. But when we were together and we were in Dallas, I was doing, we'll get into it more, but I was doing the diet with you.
Yes.
And so we've seen a lot of things. People are like, why are you doing this? Because Justus went crazy and he's been posting his food every single day on his Instagram story. So go look at him, Justus B. Woods.
Justus B. Woods. I just changed it to match Cam B. Woods.
That's
Justus
cute.
B. Woods.
That's cute. Because he has a little, what's it called? Timeline? Not timeline.
Yeah, like a little
story.
highlight
of the animal-based diet and all the food. So like, honestly, you inspired a lot of people to start eating like that.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So anyways, people are like, what the heck is the animal-based diet? If you don't know, Justus, what is the animal-based diet?
So the animal-based diet is, and I know we had talked about this in our like Why We Do Hard Things podcast, that we were starting the animal-based diet. So this is kind of like a part 2 to that. But the animal-based diet, if you didn't listen to the last episode, it's a diet where you're only eating meat, fruit, eggs, raw cheese. Raw honey,
avocado,
and avocado is technically a fruit, so it's in that fruit category.
Which
is crazy.
No vegetables,
vegetables.
When we were originally talking about it, Justus is the one who like brought this up. He's like, I want to challenge myself. We've done Whole30. This is fun. If you guys listen to our other podcast episode, like Justus was saying, Why We Do Hard Things, we wanted to challenge ourselves again. See what it would do for our bodies, see the benefits, see things that didn't really agree with us, whatever. And it was really cool. We discovered a lot of stuff, but people are always like, why animal-based? Like, that's so random. But we just really wanted to focus on quality whole foods. So people are like, why are you not eating vegetables? I've never heard of anyone not eating vegetables. We are not sitting here saying vegetables are bad for you. The quality of vegetables that you buy could be bad for you, like with pesticides and all of that. Vegetables are also hard to digest, But moral of the story, we did not eat 1 ounce of vegetables, which is crazy. My mom was probably dying when I told her that.
Yeah, it's funny because like you grow up learning like eat your vegetables, eat all this, and it's like this diet's complete opposite.
Right. And we do now. We eat vegetables now.
Yeah, we do. We'll talk about that later. But I also forgot to caveat, you also eat raw milk, like raw dairy. So like butter, kefir, grass-fed butter, kefir, raw milk, things like that.
Yes. So like, why do we do this? What are some of the benefits? So some of the benefits that we researched include balancing your hormones, which especially for women, that's very important for men too, but especially for women. Improved sleep quality, which is huge. We all need that. Consistent energy. That's like huge for me because you guys know I'm a fitness instructor. I need energy day in and day out. You need energy because you're working long hours and you wake up so early to go to the gym. So like you need that energy push too. Also enhanced performance and recovery. So daily life in the gym, how are you doing pre-workout, post-workout, recovery wise, all of that. So for those of you who don't know, we do stick to the 80-20 rule. So we eat a whole foods diet basically. So that's like meats, veggies, fruits, potatoes. Sometimes we'll eat whole grains, like on the weekends is our 20 normally. We'll like go out to eat on like a Friday or a Saturday, maybe brunch for Sunday. So like we'll have a few, we don't even call them cheat meals. It's just like, oh, we're going out to eat. Let's have fun and not care about how we eat necessarily. So yeah, this diet wasn't a crazy 180 from how we ate anyways. Yeah. But I think for people who didn't know that, they were kind of like, why are you guys like eating like this? Yeah. This is insane. But it's pretty much the way that we eat minus vegetables and minus grains.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, no, it was pretty much like, I would say that we were like 70% of the way there and the other 30%. And just the fact of like, we'd never, with the diet, you don't break out of that cycle. Like with us, it's like the 80-20 where we can go out with friends, maybe have a drink, like maybe have food. Like with this diet, we did not break. Well, I didn't break the diet once.
I did. Sorry. I'm fake for that.
We did this diet, or mainly I did this diet to test and just see if it would be different than what I have experienced, like eating like a normal whole foods diet, because I'm always into just like researching and understanding different things and seeing like, okay, what will work best for my body? Because honestly, that's what you have to do. If you're looking for the diet or the lifestyle that fits you, try a bunch of different ones and see which, because it's not going to work the same for everybody.
No, everyone's different.
I heard about this one online. Everybody was talking about the benefits so much. So I was like, okay, let's see what it can do. So this episode will be dedicated to telling you kind of the effects, both good and bad, and whether or not you should try it.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
The first point, which you had said earlier, which is one of the benefits that we researched, was energy. And that's what people have asked me a lot, is like, how do you feel about energy? Like, I know you work out a lot, you know, you're not eating carbs. Like, how the heck do you get all this energy and stuff? And honestly, like, the energy that you get, or the carbs that you get, is all from fruit. So that was a completely different thing than what I was used to. Before, I would like load up on potatoes or even sometimes rice and like other things. I'd never really used to even eat fruit that much before this, which is crazy. Now I eat fruit all the time.
It's high in fructose. Like, don't do it. You're going to get addicted to it, all this stuff.
Yeah. So I will say that it was a very, very hard adjustment at first. The first week was pretty tough. I felt like I didn't have the energy to kind of, you know, get me through my workouts at first. I think it was just because I was a little bit like, not lethargic. I don't know. It was just a weird.
You were used to carbs.
I was used to carbs, so it's like I guess my body was feeling a little bit more like, okay, I have to use a new source to burn to burn energy, to give me energy.
And you weren't taking pre-workout.
And I wasn't taking pre-workout, which is a big adjustment
thing for you,
because caffeine was the thing that I wake up pretty early in the morning, and caffeine was the thing that kind of got me through my workout. So I was like, when I wake up now, or before, I had like, I was exhausted because I'd just be eating honey with some salt, which I used to do before, kind of, but not really. Honey with salt, or like banana, or dates with honey. That's what I did now. But like before, I would do like a rice cake with peanut butter and a pre-workout, which is so good.
Literally every morning you did that. So yeah, that's a huge shift for you.
But I would say after the first week and after I adjusted, I like, people always say like these crazy stories of like everything in my body was healed, everything was like better. I'm not going to sit here and say that, but I will say that getting off of caffeine, eating less of like the rice, the grains, the things like that, it helped me sustain my energy more throughout the day. because before I would have this big like spike of energy, partly because of the caffeine, but also just because of like, you know, your body burns those less complex or the simple carbs a lot easier. Your body burns those things so
instead
quickly,
of protein,
and then you crash. But if you're eating these whole foods, if you're eating protein, if you're eating meats, if you're eating fruit, that helps you sustain it a little bit more. So I felt like that I had a more sustained energy throughout the day.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I would say for myself, I tend to stay away from grains anyways. So I would truthfully say this adjustment wasn't that hard for me. If anything, I had more of a positive adjustment, and we'll get into it later, but I was just so full of protein, like whatever. Energy wise, I would say maybe the first 2 days I noticed a little bit of lethargy. Is that like the proper lethargy?
You just noticed that you were lethargic. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. I don't think lethargy is a word.
Dang. That was dumb of me. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna look that up after.
I'm lethargic.
I wasn't that lethargic, but maybe a little bit. So I didn't notice like, oh my gosh, like I'm exhausted. Like when we did the Whole30, because also you're coming off of like Christmas time and eating so much sugar. I feel like I wasn't eating that much sugar before I made this huge shift. And I feel like my body normally grieves quote unquote sugar, but we were eating fruit. So I got the natural sugar. So I really didn't have a hard time adjusting to it at all. And I thought that my energy levels were great. I was sleeping great. I had energy throughout the day. I wasn't getting these crashes. I was still doing caffeine. So I would drink my cup of coffee with my creatine and collagen, and then I would have my sugar-free nut pods in there. So I still had that after my workout. Like I was up for a couple hours afterwards and it was still fine. Like I didn't crash or anything. So I would definitely say energy was great. I was really full throughout the day, and overall it was a good transition for me, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So the next point we'll talk about, which is a benefit of this diet, is supposed to be is reducing inflammation. And I know that's a big thing for you and for a lot of women too, even for guys as well. I would say that in terms of inflammation, I never felt like I was painfully full. There was a lot of times when I would eat grains and other things. And I mean, we'll talk about like you ate grains the other day and literally you felt like completely just kind of, inflamed. And I would say that every time I ate, and like I ate a lot of meat, I ate a lot of like fruit and stuff like that in each meal, I'd be full, but I wouldn't be in pain. I wouldn't be bloated. I wouldn't be like, like I feel so heavy. I felt more light and more just like airy a little bit. So I would definitely say that this type of diet helps with inflammation, and you can see it. We'll talk about the last one, but you can like see it in your body too, the reduction of inflammation in your body. You don't carry as much water. You don't hold that as much. So you look a little bit more lean. Yeah.
That's interesting. I would say for me, in terms of inflammation / like looking lean, I would say your body. Did you weigh yourself?
I did.
Just to see
afterwards, and we could talk about. I have that. We could talk about that point.
Sorry,
in a
I'm
little
getting
bit.
excited. Yeah. I would say that result was different for us.
Yeah.
Personally, but anyways, around inflammation, like I didn't have any eczema, I didn't have any flare ups. I haven't been having like feeling super inflamed. I didn't feel heavy. Like I just felt lighter. I was drinking a ton of water, probably because there was a good amount of sodium in the meat. Yeah. Like just with salt and stuff.
Yeah.
So I found myself drinking tons of water, which I wish I had my water right now. But no, I feel like the inflammation was good and all of that.
This is probably too much like TMI, but
oh gosh.
I would say that like people always say like how do you don't eat rice and other things with like fiber in it. Like how do you poop? Like how do you go to the bathroom and stuff? And like honestly, I would say like I'm pretty fine. Partly because yes, working out does keep you regular.
Yes.
We did take AG1 while we were doing it, so it's like we still got that in us. But
I didn't really.
Or you didn't really. But
you did.
I would also say that like eating fruit is important in this, not just because like the carbs, but also the fiber, like watermelon, things like that to help get you going. Or else like eating all this protein and stuff is gonna, without having the fiber, is gonna back you up a little.
I think I cheated because I drink my coffee. That just makes me poop every day. But it wasn't a problem. Like sometimes on Whole30 or other diets, you get really constipated and you get your pain. Like you have a lot of pain in your stomach because of that. Thankfully, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So that's good. But yeah, I agree with that.
And then the third point is appearance. And that's the kind of the reason why a lot of people do a lot of diets is how do you look? Do you want to lose weight, lose fat? I would say for me, it's actually crazy. I've never felt like I looked more like lean and like cut than doing this diet in my entire life.
You do.
I would say that, I mean, it's crazy. The first week and a half, I lost 10 pounds. I was under 200 pounds. I had never been under 200 pounds since like freshman, sophomore year of high school.
Oh.
Yeah. college, I was 200. I played college at 235. Like I was heavy. And then even now it's like I was 215, 210. Yeah. And now I was like under 200 pounds. So I would say, I know a lot of it is water weight and a piece of that, but I definitely say like the loss of fat definitely happened with the working out and being on this diet. So
because you're also a runner.
It's yeah. So. But I'll caveat that later. Yeah. But yeah, I would say that appearance wise, that like worked very, very well.
So I would definitely say if I didn't eat any potato. Oh, so I didn't say this in the beginning. I ate animal based, but I had potatoes like one time a day because I have to have the energy to be able to show up for like 2 to 3 workouts a day for my clients and for the people that I'm teaching and all of that and coaching. So I felt like I needed to do that. So that's also probably why I didn't have like any crazy adjustment period. Yeah. So I did forget about that. I had potatoes almost every time or every day. I wouldn't say that I honestly don't even think I weighed myself. I felt lighter because of inflammation weight probably, but I wouldn't say I lost any pounds on the scale. And like that wasn't it for me. I was just doing it.
That wasn't your goal. And that wasn't my goal either, but it was nice to.
No, he was like, I dropped 10 pounds. I was like, I probably gained 10. Well, whatever.
It's crazy is I dropped 10 pounds, but I was stronger than I was before I started this thing. I was still repping out like 125 pound weights.
Oh, it's terrifying. Actually, we were eating actually so much protein. Like it's insane. Sorry.
So let's move on to the negatives then. So those were the positives that we saw. There were a few negatives. One of the things that I would say is a negative about this diet is that you're eating the same food all the time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's so funny. We talk about like me and Camryn are like, what do you want for dinner? It's like, oh, like beef. And it's like, okay, we just had that for lunch. We just had it for breakfast.
Chicken?
Yeah.
Or
we started changing up a little bit. We started doing like more ground turkey, ground chicken. We did some lamb. Yeah. We've done some salmon. We've done venison. We did venison one time.
I don't think I'll eat that again. I didn't like it.
So we change it up, but it can get really boring, especially when like meat is your main source. We realize there's not that many meats out there. Right. So yeah, it can get very boring.
For sure. And on the topic of that, I would say the worst part about this diet is it is so expensive, you guys. Yeah. Like we also eat organic just by choice because we really care about what we put into our bodies.
And I also eat a lot. So it's caveat too of like if you're a me and you're doing this and you're making your meat the primary portion of your. So
let's give an example of a dinner.
Yeah.
So for dinner, I would have 1 chicken breast and 1 burger patty.
Yeah, and I'd have.
Meanwhile, you would have
like 1 to 2 chicken breasts with like 3 or 4 burger patties, plus
along
like
with raw
avocado,
cheese.
raw cheese, maybe a little bit of fruit.
So you just eat a ton of meat.
You do that 4 times.
Yeah, and like one thing of steak, you guys, is like $16 if you're buying organic grass-fed steak. So
exactly.
We also care a lot about what we put into our bodies, so that's why it was truly so expensive. But that was definitely like. We really didn't do much because we were pouring all of our money into food, which is fine because it's what we chose to do.
Exactly.
Which is great.
And the last point is that like the transition period. And I think that's when a lot of people tend to like give up is the first maybe week or so or like a couple of days and you don't see the results that you want. And this is such a strict diet where you have to stay consistent for it.
Right.
And there's a transition period where you feel like it's getting worse until it gets better. And you just have to make it through that threshold point. And you just have to realize that your body is going through a change and it's not like to the extent of withdrawal, but almost of like you're removing all these foods I used to eat and introducing only healthy, whole foods.
You're going to go through a craving stage. But honestly, having fruit was really nice. You don't need to overindulge in fruit, but fruit gave you that sweetness, which was great.
Exactly.
So
should you do this diet? We would say yes with a few caveats. Yeah. 1, understanding, like we said, there'll be a period of transition.
Yes.
2, that it'll be expensive.
Yes.
And then 3, that it'll most likely get boring and simple.
Right.
But honestly, eating whole foods and stuff, it's a boring and simple life. I mean, you can change some recipes and there are really good recipes out there. But if you try to stick to whole 1 food ingredients, it's going to be a little bit boring, but that's a good thing, honestly.
Yeah. But I would say also like if you don't have the healthiest relationship with food, like you kind of struggle with restriction or binging or anything like that, I don't suggest honestly doing any diet ever. So I wouldn't suggest it for someone like this, but we just wanted to do it to challenge ourselves and we have a good association with food. We wanted to see how we could fuel our bodies. So I would say like, you need to understand that food is fuel before you do this. And so like having so much protein will truly keep you full. And it's great because I didn't snack at all because I was so full.
Snacking protein is also another big thing. And that's kind of like just a byproduct of all this. I think it's the lack of snacking really helps with like making your body more lean, like losing fat and stuff like that.
But I would also sorry. Whoa.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
You go for it.
Normally we're good at that. I would also say emphasis on this is a diet. I don't think you should live your life this way.
I was going to say that.
What, were you really?
No way.
That's insane.
We're thinking the like.
We didn't even like have that written down. I'm so serious. It's a diet. I don't think that you should live your life like this. I do think you need to eat vegetables. I think that you need complex carbs. I think
I think that
there's another way to do it.
The animal-based diet is kind of a spin-off of the carnivore diet in the sense of like, it's supposed to help you stay in this ketosis-esque state for a longer period of time because you have fruit, you have a little bit of other things because carnivore is like pure ketosis. But there have been studies out now that like long-term ketosis is actually bad for you.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be very healing and stuff for your body, your mind and stuff.
Right.
But long-term, I don't think it's healthy. And I think for us, that's why we did it for like a month, started to introduce a little bit more into whole foods, back to 80-20. So that's what we would recommend, honestly. But in terms of doing the diet, I think it's a great way to kind of reset your body if you do it for like 3 to 4 weeks. And I highly suggest it. But I also suggest doing it to the fullest extent if you want to see the fullest results. You can't complain about you don't see the results if you don't do it to the fullest extent.
Right.
So
for sure. So it's great. Like I said, go on Justus's page. He has a lot of recipes and meal ideas because like we said, it can get boring. Yeah. So if you're inspired by this podcast or if you're just curious about it, thank you guys for listening and go look at Justus's Instagram.
Look at Camryn's too if you want to. She's got some cool stuff there.
I think I posted like my margaritas or something. So I don't think I'm really posting much of the healthy stuff
Still,
on there.
if you want entertainment, go
True.
Look at it.
And I just posted a what I eat in a day and that was like a good 80-20.
Yeah, exactly. So go watch her what you eat in a day or what she eats in a day.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening.
And have a great week.
Yes. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.
Bye.